And up next, it might not be the fight the average Death Battle watcher has been longing for, but I think this might be the match hardcore versus battle enthusiasts have been curious about the most. I have to ask, though, why Kyle and not Hal? Because Kyle made a Lagan face once? Is that the reason? If you wanted the DC character that most matched Simone's character arc, that's actually Wally West. Wally's relation with Barry is a much closer match to Simone's relation with Kamina than Kyle's relationship with Hal. Kyle wasn't Hal Jordan's sidekick. He was just an acquaintance that Ganthet gave the last power ring to because he was the closest person at hand. If you wanted Simone to fight the Lantern that's all about row row fight to power, that's always been Hal's shtick more than Kyle. Hal has always been the rebel lantern that breaks the rules and goes beyond. Hal has always been the lantern that, like Simone, quips about the human spirit before making a giant hole in a space god. Hal is also way more powerful. I'm serious. Take a look at Green Lantern 18, published last year. White Lantern Kyle, with a dip in the fancy new Source. Central Battery, underperformed significantly compared to normal green Hal Jordan. Hal has always been the Goku of the Green Lantern Corps, and Kyle has always been the Gohan, and I'm talking pre-Super Gohan. You'll notice that most of Kyle's feats used in this video are coming from Hal, and that's because Kyle really hasn't done much compared to him. Hal was and will always be the Lantern. But that's enough talk about the theme of the match. Let's get into the match itself. No, wait, shoot. I should talk about the supposed leaks. Now, keep in mind, these come from Forshan, so take this with a huge grain of salt. But if you hear that Simone has universes in his cells, and see a giant rainbow, Kyle get into a clash with Simon with a giant rainbow sword, he's probably about to die. That's all I'm saying. Now let's talk about the fight. Normally for these predictions, I talk about who I think should win under conservative and intuitive interpretations of the character's powers and abilities, and then I talk about who I think Death Battle is going to take the crown based on their, well, let's call it, imaginative interpretations. But for this matchup, I'm going to go in reverse. Let's talk about who Death Battle is going to make the winner. I think this match is going to be very similar to Ghost Rider versus Spawn. Both characters will be swanked to infinite, multi-omni super hyperversal. Their power will be infinite. Their speed will be infinite. They destroy entire realities by blinking their eyes. You get it? Ghost Rider vs. Spawn used 4 categories to determine the winner: power, skills, resistances, and versatility. Skill easily goes to Kyle. He's a career superhero, while Simone fought a war as a kid back when everyone was around mountain level, then ruled Kamina City as a politician, and then got a taste of cosmic power in the last few episodes of his series. Kyle's ring can also upload any skill or information he wants directly into his brain, and can scan Gurren Lagann. He'll know more about spiral power than Simone will know about lantern power. Versatility also goes to Kyle. Green Lanterns have a power versatility that even Superman and Flashes can't match. Only wizards like Dr. Fate can match the versatility of a Green Lantern. Think of it like this. Simone is a drill, but Kyle is a toolbox. Power is probably going to go to Kyle by a hair for the same reason it went for Ghost Rider. He's got the bigger and more convoluted cosmology. With 3 categories going to Kyle, we can stop there. But let's look at who wins resistances. This will probably be the hardest category to decide, but I think Kyle will take this one as well, just because it makes sense that a greater variety of powers means a greater variety to defend from powers. So that's how I think Death Battle is going to decide the fight. But how would I personally decide the fight? Well, I would back Kyle as well, and I have 7 points, 1 for each emotional color, to back up me backing up Hal's backup replacement. Let's take a closer look at each point. Number 1. The Powerup Race. Simone's spiral power has infinite potential, just like the getter rays that inspired it. It's a semi-sentient embodiment of the evolutionary will to power. Given enough time, Simone could theoretically reach any power plateau you want him to. But recall the time a spiky-haired martial artist with an infinite potential lost to a space orphan. And the other time. And the other time. And don't forget about the time a bold guy with infinite potential lost to a sailor man. They lost because their opponents didn't have to wait on a timer to reach a new plateau. They could power up in an instant, either by dipping into the sun or opening a can of spinach. The same applies to this fight. Simone has to grow steadily over time, but Kyle just needs to teleport to Oa and take a dip in the fancy new Source Central Battery they have. I mean had. The central battery of Oa blows up more often than the X-Man mansion, I swear. Has it come back yet? Does anyone know? I checked out of Green Lantern after Morrison left. Given that there won't be another person absorbing the central battery's power in a tug-of-war, Kyle should be able to reach a power level slightly above base form Hal Jordan. It would be comparable to early-stage Parallax or Larfleeze, and would place Kyle above Simone, whose mech ends up being vaguely galaxy-level. And no, before you post, those accretion disks seen in the final battle with the anti-spiral are galaxies, not universes. Though bear in mind, Death Battle will 100% make them universes, maybe even multiverses, and maybe even multi-multiverses. The confusion comes from fans translating director commentary and art book statements that use the word Uchu, whose meaning depends on context and can range from space to universe. I don't want to belabor the point, but to give a quick example, the Japanese word Uchusen means spaceship and refers to these things pictured here, not a ship that's bigger than the universe. Though that would be cool. Number 2. Power draining. Both Simone and Kyle can absorb energy, but Kyle is a little better at the energy-absorbing game. Lanterns can even absorb the powers of the Flash, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and Aquaman, after they've been absorbed by the android with the worst fashion sense in history. And Kyle knows how to balance 7 competing, albeit interconnected, energy sources, while Simone is dependent on just one. Recall how, when faced with the anti-spiral's infinite Big Bang attack, Simone was completely overwhelmed until Lord Genome sacrificed himself to convert the energy into spiral energy, which Simone then was able to absorb. That, coupled with Kyle's greater scanning ability, means that Kyle is far more likely than Simone to figure out how to absorb his opponent's power first. Number 3. Size and mobility. Okay, imagine this. You have to punch out an ant that can fly around you, teleport, slip into alternate dimensions, and so on. See the problem? Now, the problem is even greater for Simone because he's in a robot the size of a galaxy and Kyle is the size of a man. Kyle can't miss shooting at a galaxy. Simone can miss shooting an atom. There's also the matter of power rings being able to navigate not only through space, but hyperspace. Simone's mechs can move through dimensions and have navigational computers, but it takes someone smart like Lord Genome to make use of them. Simone's not smart enough to take advantage of them on his own. That's not to say Kyle is an expert in hyperspace navigation, but he doesn't have to be since his power ring does whatever he asks it to. He can ask his ring to move him to some remote place in the bleed, and then teleport bombs right into the cockpit of the giant robot trying to murder him. There's precedent for such a tactic being effective. When Simone went up against the anti-spiral, he was on the losing end. He burned through all his mechs and had to be thrown at the planet on the anti-spiral robot's head, so he could take out the anti-spiral personally. Even if you argue that Simone can overpower Kyle, the option remains open for Kyle to take out Simone the same way Simone took out the anti-spiral. Number 4. The Source Wall. No, I'm not talking about the little baby source wall that Kyle accidentally summoned while he was struggling with the life equation. Simone definitely should be able to handle that without any trouble. Wall meets drill, watch it go. I'm talking about the real one. Kyle knows where it is, how to get to it, and what it does. What's more, he's capable of going through it. But Simone doesn't know what the source wall is. He'd think it's just another wall for him to drill through and wind up stuck in the DC Universe's anti-God flypaper. Even Doctor Doom couldn't get by it, and absorbing cosmic power is his entire shtick. Would Simone be able to dig himself out? That's a matter of debate. But even if he could, it's going to take him a lot of work and concentration. It's going to leave him open for Kyle to hit him with everything he's got. Number 5. Mental attacks. Yes, Green Lanterns can use mind hacks. And what's more, Simone has shown he's vulnerable to them. The anti-spiral was able to trap the minds of Simone and his team by scattering them throughout the multiverse. It was sort of like the Matrix meets the Omega Sanction. It took Kamina's spirit coming to help Simone like Obi-Wan to get him to wake up. And even then, it took Kamina some time. Kyle could use all kinds of mind hacks on Simone. He could make Simone ignore him. He could make Simone think that the fight is already over and that he's already dead. But whatever he does will leave Simone wide open for an attack. Number 6. Deevolution Energy. Yes, Green Lanterns can shoot Deevolution Energy. They really can do anything they want to, especially in Silver Age stories. If spiral power is the power of evolution, then Deevolution Energy would be the perfect thing to put that spiral in reverse. Again, even if this isn't a kill shot, it's another way for Kyle to debuff Simone and interfere with the mechanics of his power. At any rate, it would be funny to see Virol devolve into a shark. Did you know he was a shark man? I always thought he was a lion man. Number 7. Time travel. Oh yes, this one was bound to come up. The 3 greatest Green Lantern weapons are the scissors, the boot, and the time machine. While Simone can fire energy missiles capable of hitting through time to the tune of a couple of minutes, Kyle can travel across the entire timeline. He could go back in time and take out Episode 1 Simone, or go into the future and kill Simone after he powers down, which is what Wally West did to Sonic. Now, assume for the sake of argument that Simone can fire across the entire timeline. All Kyle has to do to win is go back to Episode 1 and let the missiles follow him. Simone loses because he's tricked into taking out his past self, and if Kyle can't survive the explosion, it doesn't matter, because now Simone never fired that missile to begin with. And that ends my prediction. Do you think Kyle is going to win on the episode, or do you think Simone will find the will to drill his way out of danger? Let me know what you think in the comments.